Hi there and welcome to my Plan With Me video. I am starting out with a clean slate and looking forward to next week, and thought I would invite you all to join along as I figure out how I'm going to decorate my page. I'm kind of winging it. The only thing I have in mind at this point is a color scheme and then a general background idea. I went through, I don't know why, but I was feeling like some teals and aqua colors, and I went through my stash and I pulled out some ink colors that I like, some washies that kind of fit in that color family, and I had this little sticker that I'll cut out probably from the Felicity Jane kit from this month called Tuesday, and I just love it. It's gorgeous. And then, of course, I'll use my Studio L2E stamps that I'm in love with, and we'll get started. Just a note about these. If any of you do any card making, I'm sure you're familiar with Jennifer McGuire, and these come from her. I downloaded files that have various stamp companies, or excuse me, ink companies, and their color names, and then I just stamped examples and cut them into these 2-inch little squares. And then I have, this is exactly the way she does it, so this is completely her idea, but I have an entire booklet, and these are little 2x2 coin collector pockets, and I kind of put them all in color families. You know, here's all my teals, and then all my blues, dark blues, into the purples, etc. And then I have these all on rings, and this is how I select my colors. So it's an awesome way to organize your inks if you have a lot of them like I do. So I'm going to start with this idea, and the other thing that I kind of had in mind was that I was going to do a subtle stripe. So day to day, I was going to do sort of a lighter and then a darker of the aquas. Not exactly sure how that's going to turn out. In my head, I had like one of those like ledgers that has stripes that are alternating, but I'm sort of now taking it vertical. But that's sort of what, but real pale, real subtle, that's what I kind of have in mind for the background. And rather than stick within the confines of my little box on these pages, I'm going to just go the entire height of the page. So as usual, I'm working on my week on 2-page printables from Plan to Create, Julie Kay. And I am going to go ahead and get started, and I'm going to fast forward through, or just maybe skip right ahead, because I've already done a whole video on the ink blending, which is the same technique I'm going to use here. So I'll catch back up with you after I've put in the stripes, and I'll let you know what colors I used, and hopefully it turns out nice. Okay, here I am finishing just the last stripe on the far edge of the page here. And all I did was just move my tape across to mask off the panels and use a really nice light touch. And for the pale aqua color, I am using Pool Party from Stampin' Up, just a dye ink. And for the blue color, I am using Steel Blue, which is hybrid ink from Simon Says Stamp. And this is a really nice ink to stamp with and to blend with. Both of the dye inks are. I really love them. So peel that last one off. And this is what my background looks like, which is kind of what I had in my head. I like it. So now I've got to figure out what to do with it. All right, now that I have my background done, I kind of want to think about how my week is going to lay out. And this week, my husband's 40th birthday is on Thursday. So we are celebrating. Obviously, that's an important day for us. And then, of course, it gets into Easter. But rather than make this very Eastery, his 40th only comes around once in a lifetime. So I'm not going to really focus on like an Easter theme or anything like that. I think I'm going to just sort of make it like a regular week. I'll note down here that it is Easter, but it's not going to be bunnies and Easter eggs, I don't think. This little sticker that I showed you earlier, I went ahead and trimmed it out, just fussy cut it with my scissors. And there were a couple of other elements in the Felicity Jane sticker sheet that I kind of liked with these colors. So I pulled those out as well. And this is what that sticker sheet looks like now. I've kind of cut the whole thing apart already because I loved it so much and I've already had ideas of how to use it all. But this is again from the Tuesday kit. So I'm not sure if I'm going to use any of these day headers, only because I'm not sure I want to introduce all these colors, but I do like a couple of these labels and flags. So I'm going to, I think I'm just going to go ahead and make a little cluster of these right on his birthday, maybe. Yeah, I kind of like that. And then maybe I'll write on here or stamp on here, happy birthday. So let me dig through my stamps and come up with a stamp. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just stick them down. See what happens here. So let's do, and I like things to I want this vertical to be broken up a little bit this way. So I'm gonna kind of break these lines up where I can with stamps and stickers and whatever else. So let's go ahead and stick that down. I have no clue if that's straight. And then I'm going to peel the release paper from this one, and we'll stick that one down a little bit offset. And then we'll put the little speech bubble kind of overlapping like that. How's that look? That's pretty good. Let's do that. And then I'll just have to trim that just a tiny bit on the back side. Okay. So that's hopefully going to draw your eye to Thursday, draw my eye to Thursday, because that's our big day this week. And then I'll go ahead and stamp in, I did find some stamps that I wanted to use. Stamp in happy birthday the best that I can on that label. So I have these happy birthday stamps are from my card making days, and they come from this set here, which has the word happy in lots of different fonts and then a bunch of things to go with it. And this is from Simon Says Stamp. And again, I think it's called Happy. And it's a small 3x4 set. So I'm going to pull this forward and hopefully not totally put the happy there, and then the little word there. Okay, I like that. I like the mix of fonts, and I like the fact that this is dark and this is light, so they don't look like they're supposed to read together. And then this VersaFine ink, when I'm doing something real fine like that, I really like that ink because it does not, it's just so crisp. It doesn't sort of blur. Okay, I think I'm going to use the numbers from the basic alphabet set. This was new in March from Studio L2E, their latest release. And I'm going to go ahead and just put the dates in for the coming week. So I decided to use this Baja Breeze, which is slightly darker than the Pool Party and hopefully dark enough that it still shows up okay on the blue here. I'm going to use that for the dates. Okay, I'm just doing my last date. You can see I do all my 2s, and then I go back and fill in everything in, and for some reason I didn't do the 1. So I'm going to put that in. And now I have my dates in all the way across. And I love the size and the boldness of these basic alphabets. They kind of fit on my page just perfectly here. All right, so I'm thinking I want to put a little washi, and I'm going to bring up my grid here. Sometimes visually this helps me just keep things straight. So I'm just going to work on my grid now. and sort of line my papers up and see. I have this sample. This is a sample of washies, of skinny washies that I bought off of Etsy, and I think that I'm going to like how this one looks. And if I know that my paper is straight, then I can follow the grid all the way across, and it should be nice and straight on the page. And then I can take my ruler and sort of decide where I want it to end. Like I think I want it to end here. So I'll just go ahead and peel that up. And here, carefully, I can salvage that. And then I can cut in the middle here. Trim that there. And sometimes I like that on my Saturday and sometimes I don't. I may end up cutting that off. But what I typically do is, I'm a Mac user and I use their calendar, and the way they organize it is they have their like the all day events at the top, and so my brain sort of thinks that way. So I think I'm gonna follow that same pattern, and then my, you know, my scheduled events sort of fit in down here. So I'm going to start with my stamping for the scheduled events. And okay, so I pulled out my color swatches, and this blue is just a bit lighter than that one. So I think I'm going to go with this. It's Marina Mist from Stampin' Up. And I'm going to use that. Yeah, I think that's going to be a little better on here. Plus it has a little bit of that aqua undertone to it. So on Monday, I have my daughter's play group. So I drive her to and from that. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this all a little closer to me. And stamp that in. And then I'll jot in the details. And then I also have volleyball that night. So I'm going to put volleyball about here. And leave some room for some to-dos and my hydrate stamps and stuff at the bottom. And I'll use the pool party. I'm just going to wipe that down. And I use, I'm sure everybody has been talking about this, but I use this chamois to clean my stamps. I love it. It's just, it's called the Absorber. The thing's covered in ink, but it doesn't matter. It just sort of sucks into the cloth. I think it's meant for cleaning cars. We use it for cleaning the boat, but I cut a little square of it and I use it in my craft room, and it's wonderful. It takes all the moisture off. So on Tuesday, I have tennis in the morning. So I'm going to put a little spot there for tennis. And no, I don't think I have anything else for Tuesday, do I? So I'm going to go back to my blue for Wednesday. And I am volunteering in my daughter's classroom on Wednesday, which reminds me I need to get a babysitter for my little one. So I'm going to put that there. And then my husband is out for dinner. I think I'm just going to note that with a little star or something down there, because it's not really my appointment, it's his. All that means is I don't need to cook that night. And then I'm going to leave Matt's birthday, my husband's birthday, alone for the moment. I do have tennis that morning, so I think I'm just going to kind of write that in small. And then we're going to go out to celebrate that night with some friends. So I'm just going to also write that in small. I'm not going to put any stamping there. And then on Friday is Good Friday, and we don't have school. The kids don't have school that day, so I'll probably put like a little star up here in this area that says no school. And I have tennis Friday morning as well, so I'm going to go back to this ink and put a little spot for tennis drill Friday morning. Okay, welcome back to the video. I'm super bummed. This is my inexperience with video shining through here, because at some point this stopped recording and I just kept working and going on and doing my thing. And then when I finally looked up to check on the video, I realized that all of this did not get recorded, or the vast majority. So I was going to scrap it and just say, oh, well, I'll do a different plan with me. But I like how it turned out. And, you know, at least I was able to document sort of my initial plan for it. So I'll just walk you through what I did, and I'll go ahead and post this on YouTube, and hopefully it's still helpful and inspiring. So what I did, I think where I left off, I had already stamped the dates, and I had just started stamping these blocks from Studio L2E to indicate some events that we have going on this week. And I had gone in and just filled those in with my Friction pen that I used to write those in. And I decided not to put any icons on it. I sort of like the simplicity of this week, and I don't need it. I know exactly what all those things mean. So, so I did that. And as I mentioned, I had a couple of items that were sort of the all-day items that I indicated with just some stars, and that comes from the Planet stamp set from Studio L2E, just a solid, simple star. And I wrote in those couple of things. I went down and stamped the On the Menu on each of my areas across the bottom here so that I could do some meal planning. This little script on the menu, it comes from another set from the new release called, pull it out here, called List It Boxes. And it has various like multi-area boxes here, and then you can fill them in, but then it has some headers and like a BLD, breakfast, lunch, dinner, and I chose this script On the Menu. And then right above that, I stamped the Hydrate stamps. That comes from the Planet stamp set from Studio L2E. And then a series of lines that also comes from Planet. And I use those just to track my to-dos. I put a little bit more washi. It was funny, I had like a little like moment of silence because this was the end of my polka dot washi roll, which is now empty, and it makes me super sad. But the good news is I have another ordered, and I hope it is similar. I went on Etsy to look for something similar because I knew I was getting low. It's thinner than this, which I think I'll like, but this is like my all-time favorite. But I like how that kind of broke up the day as well. And then I used the hexagon alphabet to just indicate the Easter down the side here. Plus I had some of the blue stamping on this side, and I wanted to balance that out, so I wanted to put some blue over here. And this was a really like empty, my weekend is really empty. I know it will fill up, but at the moment we don't have a plan. So, and then I had these bits of black, the stamping and my bits of washi. And so it made me want a black title, or, you know, the name of the month up here in black. And it took all of my courage to actually write that freehand. I'm not any sort of lettering expert. I love to play around with it, but I really don't know what I'm doing. But I got one of these Pentel Feud sign, if I'm saying that right, brushes with the flexible tip, so you can kind of make the thin and thick lines. So I wrote in the word March up there as my title, and then I used some of the little confetti stamps from this month's Felicity Jane stamp set, which, where did that go? So I used this little 3-dot stamp, and I kind of clustered that around to add a little interest up there and a little bit more washi. And I did sort of ruin my sticker when I tried to tuck this washi under there, but that's okay. I'm going to live with it. And I think that this is sort of finished up. I do draw a line around the outside edge, especially if I have some lighter colors, just sort of seems to contain everything. And then I drew a line down here at the bottom of the page also. So this is the finished product that I'm going to work with next week. I'm sure it will fill in a little bit more as things get closer. I'm sure I'll have more to fill in, but I really like the way it looks. As I mentioned at the beginning, I did have sort of an idea in my head of this sort of tone-on-tone alternating stripe look, and I like how it turned out. So I apologize about the glitch with the filming, and I promise I'll get the hang of this stuff as time goes on, but you get the idea. You didn't have to watch the whole process, but you see what the finished product looked like, and hopefully it's still worth your time and enjoyable to watch. So thank you for watching. I appreciate anybody who takes the time to take a peek at my process and these layouts. And if you are enjoying them, please subscribe on YouTube and like the video so that I know what is interesting for people and what they want to see more of. And I will continue to make the videos. So thank you very much. Have a great day.